Uh, Good afternoon. My name's Jim Koopman. I'm a director at Jack+Cottier Architects. This project is the stage one alterations and additions for a new learning concept which was being developed by the Catholic Education Office. The idea is that this facility would provide teaching support for all the Catholic schools for children between the ages of 6 to 18. The Eileen Centre was going to provide special education programs for three groups of children. Firstly, there was the English as a second language. Then there was a program for children that had disabilities. And then with this, there was also a program for gifted children, all quite different courses. And they're all meant to work together on a common campus, almost like a university concept, if you like. This is the project team: Tara Graham, Haram Robson, Bazulis Associates as consultants, and the builder with Lippmann Group. The site is owned by the Catholic Church, and there are existing school buildings on that site that were available for adaptive reuse. They're probably constructed in the late 70s. The buildings are all in sound condition but tired. On the site, which dates back to the 1850s, there are a number of heritage buildings, and in particular the St Thomas Becket Church, which was heritage listed. This is one of the site's few great assets and created an opportunity to give the site a more civic quality and presence to its outdoor spaces. Why has this been entered in the Merit Awards as a small project? The main reason is because the whole project was built and completed in an 8-week period over a Christmas break, and all the tradesmen are on holidays. It was a project that was effectively exempt development in terms of approvals, and that meant there was no structural change, there was no change of use, there was no change to the existing footprint. But the transformation was fantastic, both visually and functionally. How did this all begin? Well, it was actually a small project that was embedded in a big idea. At the first briefing meeting, Seamus O'Grady, Director of Curriculum for the Catholic Schools, had a personal vision for this school to be marked, if you like, as an exciting place, as an iconic place. Seamus was a Francophile and loved Paris, and so he used this image of the Louvre to sort of try and express what he wanted out of the design process. It was a competition which Jack+Cottier won. And in that competition, we proposed 3 elements, if you like. Firstly, there was this Discovery Centre. It was meant to mark the arrival to this new facility, and it was an iconic form and a gateway to the centre. Secondly, there was this notion of what we called the meeting place, where the existing verandas were conceptually treated as a street. And thirdly, there was this notion of blended learning, which were words incorporated in the brief, and it means looking at teaching and learning with different configurations and ways of delivering that and different uses of technology. But additionally, we had a view that it might mean, instead of having the staff all on their own specific level and all the students in their area, that we might be able to vertically integrate the student and the teacher spaces, so that they were sharing things and there were interstitial zones, so that you end up with more a mentor-protege teaching arrangement as opposed to a master and servant, if you like. So there was the design competition, but it wasn't able to be delivered all in one go. The competition was early in the year, and we had to get the centre up and running the following school year in February. And to do that, the works had to be staged. So the stage 1 works were meant to be carried out over Christmas and after the excitement of the competition phase, if you like, and the big ideas that were presented with that about iconic building forms and the like. The expectations for stage 1 were far more modest, but we had different ideas. We felt that there were 3 key actions that we could employ that would be able to transform the existing building to a fantastic place to just learn and be around. And the first step to this was to remove the physical barriers that constrained the visual connections from inside to outside and made the interior spaces so dreary. The second action was to remove the interior physical barriers, taking advantage of the existing structure which facilitated clear span spaces. And with the removal of these physical barriers and their replacement with transparent and sliding and adjustable screens, classrooms were able to be visually connected to each other. They could be organised in different ways to suit different learning arrangements. And the third element was this idea that was embedded in the competition proposal of the veranda as a street. So it was a matter of taking the new doorways and openings and fitting them with almost joinery elements that were like timber seating and benches so that the kids could inhabit those spaces. We were creating street furniture. This was able to be used for work and play, lounging and all sorts of things. It's been very successful. And an essential part of this street was actually the idea of providing at the ground floor level a plaza space. Now the plaza space, like plazas are, is a place of arrival and orientation, a larger space for gatherings. Access to the Eileen O'Connor Centre was able to come from the station on the west or from the Thomas Street entry on the east, and it was able to resolve those conflicting address points. You can see here that the main arrival point from the station was quite it turned its back on that arrival point. So we were able to open that up with just some very simple removal of existing panels, bringing the inside finishes out, the white bag brickwork, creating a graphic signage element that could be seen from a distance, and providing accessible ramps, detailed, reflecting the desire line of the journey from the station. Now this cola then is a sort of an intersection, if you like, between the way into the building from both sides and the student spaces you could see here in blue colour, which is an ITC lounge where visiting students and parents are inducted. They come in, they socialise, you can get a coffee there. And on the other side is a lot more of the administrative spaces. So you could see that first idea from the competition of blending and interactive between staff and students works right from the front door. We think this project has resulted in an outcome which is far beyond the client's original modest expectations, built in 8 weeks with really good organisation, but a transformation that has provided fantastic value for money and a fantastic setting for the kids who visit this centre for learning. Thanks very much.